Hi everybody, I'm really excited to announce that I finished my second semester of steno school! Hooray! I'm actually traveling right now, so I'm not at home, but I wanted to give you guys a little recap of my semester to tell you how it's going, how it went, and how I'm feeling so far. And as I mentioned in the beginning, these vlogs are really for me because I want to see my progress and how far I'm coming, but I also hope this really helps you because when I started researching steno school, I didn't really know what to expect, and so I hope that this sort of recap is able to help someone in the future who's going to start steno school kind of know what's coming. And as a disclaimer, today I'm really just going to be going through my classes from this semester, and that's specific to my school at Tri-C, and so this, I guess, is hopefully an insight into what the classes are like here. So this semester I took a total of 3 classes. One was theory, which is the typing class, and then I had court procedures and transcript production. So for theory, it was theory 2, and in total it was a 9-week course, and there were 4 new lessons, one of which was introduced every other week. So weeks 1 and 2 were lesson 1, 3 and 4 was lesson 2, 5 and 6 was lesson 3, and 7 and 8 was lesson 4. And then week 9 was a review week. Overall, I feel like, yeah, I learned some really cool new stuff, and like I said, some of it was definitely harder than theory 1. But my overall feeling so far is I'm like kind of getting itchy. Like, it doesn't feel like it's going super fast. And I know like it would probably be a lot harder if it went a lot faster, but I feel like we could be learning a few new exercises or a few more concepts than we did in this course. And overall, just knowing that at my school, theory is a total of 4 classes. Theory 1, which is 2 halves of 1 semester, and then theory 2, 3, and 4, which are each half a semester. So summer being basically half a semester, so whether you start in fall or spring, 2 and 3 might be on spring semester, or 3 and 4 might be on fall semester, which is what I'm going to be doing. Either way, this is a total of 5 half semesters, or a fall, a spring, and a summer. So that's a total of basically 12 months to finish theory. And just hearing other people's experiences with taking theory at their schools and whatever, I really haven't heard the number of 12 months yet. It seems like most numbers I've heard are like 3 months for theory, or 4 months, or 6 months maybe. I really haven't heard 12 yet. So I'm just honestly a little bit curious. Why does ours take 12 months? Are we really gonna get some really cool theory out of this? And I want some cool phrasing systems or interesting extra tools that we get or something. I don't know. And overall, if I was just sticking to the course and trying to hit my goal of 2 years, I feel like it's kind of unrealistic to expect that you could finish speed building all the way to 225 within 1 year, pretty much. Because as far as I understand from like the experiences I've heard so far and other people's stories, it seems like speed building is the most time-consuming part, and most people take the longest to get through like 180-ish. That's not to say that my school definitely has a really strong philosophy on like, we're not going to hold you back. If you're trying to go faster with speed, we'll let you, and we're not going to say you can't do that yet or anything. It's just a little puzzling to me at this point. Like, I don't see the full picture on why is my theory take 12 months to complete. But I'm just going to keep chugging along, following what they've got for us, try to practice as fast as I can, and trust the process as much as I can. And for theory 2, my professor this time was Kelly Morans. She was fantastic as well. She was super helpful, super kind, really knowledgeable, quick to answer questions, very graceful, forgiving, and just a great guidance and teacher overall. And now moving on to my other 2 classes, which were court procedures and transcript production. I would say if you have the chance, definitely take these together. Taking them together for me was a great experience as the topics were like really related and a lot of it had common information, so it was really easy to take them together. Court procedures overall was a very reasonable class. It wasn't like too much or anything. It was just a regular load. It wasn't crazy and it wasn't like nothing. I felt like the info in that class, a lot of it I had learned through my research online by myself. And maybe 20% of the info felt like it was new and like I couldn't find that out by myself. For the assignments, I felt like mostly it was busy work. It wasn't that bad. In that class, there were just a total of maybe 3 bigger and kind of interesting assignments. One was to interview a court reporter and just ask them certain questions, and that was a lot of fun and very informative. Another one was to watch videos of a court proceeding, and that was interesting just because I hadn't experienced court before, But the assignment overall was very boring, and the court case we watched was one of the boring ones. They were arguing over the usage of like a copyrighted sign design for real estate realtors or something like that. And then the third assignment was called a research assignment. It was basically listening to words that had interesting spellings and trying to write them down. That was honestly closer to busy work. It was kind of, when I finished the assignment, I looked at it, it was like, this is kind of like a spelling bee. Anyways, so that class was not bad at all. And transcript production, I would say, was even lighter because it just didn't have that many things to turn in at all. The strange thing with that class was we were learning to do how to format transcripts, and we were using Word to do it. So like, you know, I would hope to learn to use my cat to do that, but I guess we had to do it manually in Word. It was okay, I guess. Overall, the first few weeks we had kind of mini assignments and do small chunks of a transcript at a time to learn like one piece at a time, which was not bad at all, up until week 5. And then week 6, suddenly it just like jumped. Like suddenly we're doing like a full transcript. It was just kind of a big shock after like slowly building block on top of each other. And then suddenly it was like, okay, go build something you don't have any of the pieces for, but okay. It was a lot to adjust to in week 6, but after that, week 7 and 8 had basically the same assignment as week 6. So as to the teacher for these classes, it was Lori Moniz, who taught editing legal documents on the first semester. Overall, me and my friends in my group chat, we're like not totally vibing with her right now. There's just a couple things that kind of really throw us off. First of all, she's really like mean, I guess, about telling us to be really as perfect as we can with our proofreading, you know, typing with the correct spelling and grammar, don't miss your commas. And in general, I would take that if she was following her own advice. But she constantly makes mistakes in her own teaching materials. She makes mistakes on her discussion posts, like she tells us not to. She makes mistakes in her quiz questions. The list goes on. And like I started collecting them. There's just like a ton of typos that she made all the time, and just kind of really felt like a double standard because of the way she was like, I guess, instilling fear into us about this. I think what goes hand in hand with that is her terrible grading scheme. Like, for example, this is one assignment that's worth 100 points. So basically miss one period or one comma or something like that, and you could be down to a 90 out of 100 just like that. And overall, her math on the grading is just really whack and kind of unfair looking. So when we get our assignments back, docked with 10 million points off of them, it just like, it feels terrible when we watch her make mistakes in her emails and her posts. She also has this kind of weird attitude when you ask her questions. I don't know if she intends that. Maybe there's a mismatch in the communication level of like her texting style versus our texting style and what kind of mood we perceive from certain placements of periods and so on. Anyways, despite all that, you know, me and my friends, none of us are her biggest fan, I guess, but it wasn't too hard to get a decent grade following her instructions. I honestly don't know how, but I'm not sure how many more courses in the program she teaches, so I might be done taking her classes. One interesting thing was she applied all the grammar rules to our proofreading on every assignment, so you had to know all the rules that were basically taught in editing legal documents. But neither of these classes had that class as a prerequisite, and I have a classmate who hadn't taken editing legal documents yet, and she was like really behind and lost on how to not get docked tons of points for not following Moniz's specific rules. So that's one thing I hope they might change, is like, I think you need to put that grammar class as a prerequisite for taking these other classes where she grades you based on those standards. So that was the classes I took this semester. Overall, it felt kind of short. I'd really just kind of got through it. Throughout the semester, I felt like I was really battling a lot of physical exhaustion. I was having trouble getting enough sleep and taking a lot of naps. And honestly, just getting through all of that was a victory. Letting myself off when I felt tired and knowing it's okay to relax a little bit. I would say my biggest victories this semester was I was able to pass up to 120 lit tests and 120 Q&A tests. So that's really exciting. We haven't even formally started taking Q&A tests yet, but they kind of ran out of stuff for me to take, so she had me taking Q&As. I think I've made like one attempt at 140 so far because they didn't have any opportunities yet, so I'm waiting for more opportunities to come in the next class to take 140s, see if I can pass that. I'm honestly kind of shocked that I passed the 120s, but you know, I'll take it. And then one last thing that was kind of fun that I'll mention is that I'm traveling this week and there was an opportunity, like a kind of informal career night, and I was able to share my future career with a bunch of high schoolers and college students and even some adults who didn't know what court reporting was. And I set up like a demo and everything so they could see me typing on the keyboard or they could try out the keyboard themselves. I hope it looked cool. And yeah, I had like imposter syndrome, like I'm not a court reporter yet, but it was like really exciting to see that a lot of people were interested and were asking questions about what it was. So even if no one ends up doing it, I really hope that I helped at least inform people that it exists, which is really what I would have wanted. So that was a really fun way to end off my semester 2. And now it's a break. I don't really know what my vlog plan is for break. I still have video ideas and I'll try to figure out if I can do them or not. Might need some more prep, but it's also just as possible I might not be feeling it and I'll just take a break for a month. So either way, semester 3 is coming up next in September, and whether I'll see you in August or I'll see you in September, thanks always for watching. So see you.